Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka Mono Bluetron, back again with another episode of 10-Minute Testing. Wow, been a long time since I've been able to say that. I'm fresh back from my holidays and the wedding afterwards, and newly prepared to dampen my spirits with another painful look at the combo hellscape that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is about to become. Today we're looking at a fan-favorite classic archetype, Blackwings, but I'll warn you now, if you want to preserve the image of Blackwings in your mind as the Synchro and Icarus attack archetype, and not as another degenerate link spam deck, you might want to look away. Still with me? God help your soul. So here's the list, and if you just take a quick peek at the top left of the screen, you can see the entire reason that the deck exists. As always, I'll give you a little bit of background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and as always, the card by card. So firstly, for those of you that don't know, Blackwing are an archetype of birds, I guess, would be their defining characteristic, that previously peaked around 2009 when they won Worlds. They're used in the anime by Crow Hogan, Hulk Hogan's half-brother, and are well known for their ability to special summon themselves from hand, usually while you control a differently named Blackwing monster. Now previously this was used alongside tribal synchros to barf out powerful synchro bosses, but a combination of power creep invalidating cards like Mistworm and Goyo Guardian as game-ending threats, and Master Rule 4 preventing enormous synchro boards has kind of driven a stake through the heart of the deck. Enter Crystron Needlefiber.
No, it's okay. I'll get it down.
Okay, anyway. Crystron Needlefiber, the synchro in Link's clothing, enables some absolutely bonkers strategies for the deck. It can be made with any two monsters as long as one is a tuner, and after being summoned, you can special summon a level 3 or lower tuner from your deck. You can also port out during your opponent's turn to special summon one tuner synchro from your extra deck. Now this, along with the now 2 Link points he makes available, frees up the archetype to compete as was always intended. By using Needlefiber to special summon something like Steam the Cloak, you can easily make TG Hyper Librarian, then start synchro summoning. Now as with any synchro combo deck, the plays are quite intricate and vary wildly based on your hand, but the deck can consistently open up either an Omega or a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, or, in some miraculous cases, both. There are also a multitude of options for the Needlefiber itself. On the opponent's turn, it can easily become a TG Wonder Magician if you want reliable destruction, a Stardust Warrior if you want reliable negation, or a Formula Synchron if you want to get cute, dig for hand traps, or go into another relevant synchro on your opponent's turn. The end result is a very consistent deck with incredibly powerful synchro setups on your turn, and multiple ways of interacting on your opponents. So with that, let's take a look at the card by card. First are our Blackwings, 1 copy of Gofu, the card that I forgot was a Blackwing, who coincidentally is a 1-card Needlefiber. 3 copies of Chris the Crack of Dawn, a 4-star who can special summon himself, but only once per turn. 3 copies of Bora the Spear, who can special summon himself. 3 copies of Hamatan the Dust, who can special summon himself, but only once per turn, and increases its level by the level of another Blackwing you control. 3 copies of Blizzard the Far North, a tuner who can special summon a level 4 or lower Blackwing from your graveyard when he's normal summoned. 2 copies of Gale the Whirlwind, a tuner who can special summon himself and have an opponent's monster's attack and defense, something that is surprisingly relevant. 2 copies of Pinocchio the Waxing Moon, a Needlefiber target who adds a Blackwing to hand during the end phase if you win from the field to the graveyard, and then are one-ofs. 1 copy of Gladius the Midnight Sun, who can special summon himself if you have exactly one other monster who is a Blackwing and is not Gladius. 1 Orochi the Squall, a tuner who can special summon himself but only once per turn, and can change a monster's battle position if he's sent as synchro material, which is useful for silly OTKs. 1 Vayu the Emblem of Honor, a level 1 synchro who can't be used as a synchro material on the field, and then can banish himself and a graveyard Blackwing to synchro. Steam the Cloak, who makes a token when he leaves the field and can special summon himself from the grave by tributing a monster, and legendary one of Zephyros the Elite, who can return a face-up card to the hand to special summon himself from the graveyard. After that are our hand traps, 3 copies of Ash, and 1 Max C. For spells, we've got 3 Allure of Darkness, 3 Pot of Desires, 3 Black Whirlwind, 1 Raigeki, and 1 Mind Control. For traps, we've got 3 evenly matched, and nothing else. For the extra, we're playing our Needlefiber port outs, 1 copy of Stardust Warrior, 1 TG Wonder Magician, and 1 Formula Synchron. Follow that up with a Crystal Wing, an Omega, and a TG Hyper Librarian, and then we've got our Blackwings. 1 Rikiri the Rain Shower, 1 Kidori the Rain Sprinkling, 1 Nothing the Starlight, 1 Obsidian Hawk Joe, 2 Soya the Rain Storm, 1 Skull Death, and the Fiber Jar himself. So with that, let's jump into the games. So our first match is up against Goki, a deck that is very much in the same boat we are. It's not particularly powerful, but because it has access to Crystron Needlefiber, it might be able to do some broken things. We have a fantastic hand for going second. A copy of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and an evenly matched are exactly what we want to see, but unfortunately we're going first. Thankfully, the other 3 cards in our hand are very explosive. Black Whirlwind is always what you want to see in your opener, so let's see how far we can go. We're going to start by activating this Black Whirlwind and normal summoning a copy of Vayu to get a copy of Orochi the Squall. We're going to special summon the 2 guys we can out of our hand to go into a Needlefiber, get ourselves ourselves Steam, just a fantastic Needlefiber target. Start with a Rain Sprinkling, get ourselves the Steam token, use Veyu's Grave Effect in order to get Rain Storming, and then use him plus the Steam to go into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, then the token plus the Rain Sprinkling to go into a Psy-Frame Omega. Just a fantastic opener, but unfortunately our opponent has pretty broken plans of their own. We're going to start by trying to rip the card he searched off Resonator Call, that is Mirror Resonator, out of his hand. We miss, and unfortunately he can normal summon the Suprex, special summon the Twist Cobra, trigger both of their effects, and go into Jet Ogre. He's going to get a rematch. We negate the Headbat because of course we know the Great Ogre is coming, and our Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon is not long for this world, so we'll negate what we can. Still, however, he goes into Great Ogre, then triggers the effect of Jet Ogre and Rescorpio in order to add a couple more cards to his hand. He goes into Needlefiber, which is target number 1 for this Ash Blossom, which is otherwise quite dead in this matchup since all the cards do the same thing. We'll go into a Formula Synchron to draw a card and prevent a little bit of damage, maybe incentivize him into attacking that instead of the Crystal Wing, but no dice. We do draw into one of the best cards left in our deck, this Blizzard the Far North. Our opponent's going to port out of the Needlefiber into a TG Wonder Magician, but just a little bit too late to prevent anything from happening. We get our Sandman, our Dust, we go into a Needlefiber, get a Waxing Moon, special summon the Dust, go into Sonya the Rain Storming, and from here it's just classic Blackwing. We get to use all of their effects, each of which enable each other to continually work up the chain of Blackwings and reborn Blackwings from graveyard. We'll end with a Rain Shower in order to destroy the remaining cards on our opponent's side of the board and start attacking for lethal. So the selling point of this deck certainly is its explosivity. Its ability to play really valuable extra deck monsters like the Rain Shower and TG Wonder Magician enable it to play this sort of grindy one-for-one style of gameplay that you're going to see in this match. Our opponent is on Paleozoic Frogs, a deck well known for its ability to outgrind its opponent, and unfortunately we've drawn 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring going first once again. We have a copy of Black Whirlwind in our hand, but unfortunately we do not have the enablers that we did in our previous match. We're going to go for something a little more reserved and hope that it can get us there. We're going to start by activating this copy of Black Whirlwind, normal summoning Bora the Spear, giving ourselves a Gladius 2-hand, special summoning Orochi the Squall, going into Needlefiber, ending on Waxing Moon and a Rain Shower. So we're going to use Waxing Moon's effect to get a Blizzard the Far North, enabling some sort of comeback play for next turn. We're going to go ahead and Ash Blossom this Swap Frog, which as anyone who's ever played against Paleozoic can tell you is not very good, provided that they specialed the Swap Frog in the first place. They still get to go into Totally Awesome in set 4. We'll go into Wonder Magician because our opponent's set 4 before attacking like it's Duel Links, and then we'll draw a card off of Wonder Magician, just hoping he doesn't use the effect of Totally Awesome yet. We're going to try and grind him out of this one, so we'll start by normal summoning Blizzard the Far North. That doesn't prompt a response on his end. However, the activation of Black Whirlwind does. He'll go ahead and Oleanates it. That's 1 card down. He's going to bottomless this Bora the Spear. We'll use Gale the Whirlwind's effect, which gets Totally Awesome, and now we only have to chew through 1 more card. We'll use the effect of the Rain Shower, and he'll chain a Reckless Greed that will Ash Blossom, and he'll concede. So that second game really devolved into a quest of let's destroy every single card our opponent controls, which is occasionally how this very resource-intensive deck plays out. In new 10-minute testing tradition, our third match is actually a match, 3 games against the second best deck in the format, Trickstar, and thankfully we're going first, so maybe we can do something before they kill us into the sun. We're going to start by activating this copy of Allure of Darkness, and ooh, there's Veyu and Black Whirlwind. Don't mind if I do. We're off to a very good start until, of course, the Black Whirlwind gets Ghost Ogred, and we have 2 copies of Gale the Whirlwind, who has an OPT clause, so we end on this really pathetic board of Crystron Needlefiber and a Waxing Moon. Our opponent's going to start by getting a Light Stage, getting a Candina, using Candina's effect to get a Reincarnation, then start attacking. We're going to attack over the Needlefiber, so we'll go ahead and tag out into Wonder Magician, and of course they have the Honest. Why wouldn't they? Afterwards, they'll go into a Licorica to attack over our Waxing Moon and do 200 points of damage after we add the Blizzard the Far North to our hand. But unfortunately, we know it's not long for this world. I'm sure they're going to flip up this copy of Reincarnation. We draw a new hand that's okay. Black Whirlwind's pretty nice. We'll go ahead and set that. Normal summon Bora the Spear, but oh my goodness, they have removal for that too. Lord almighty. At the very least, we can attack over this copy of Licorica. We'll, I don't know, go into some ridiculous copies of Allure of Darkness, and oh man, we're no better off than we were before we activated them. And here come the sheepies. The Scapegoat is always the last card, and unfortunately we're in a very bad position because our monster has 1700 attack, so they unfortunately can OTK us pretty easily by going into a copy of Firewall Dragon. They can repeatedly attack this copy of Licorica into the 1700 attack monster, triggering Firewall Dragon's effect and attacking us directly with Trickstar Lilybell. Oh, this is just such a fun loop. Even more fun than getting Droll locked out of the game in your standby phase. You don't want to watch this. Well, I lose. That's the end. Alright, so game 2. You can see that our opponent's drawn absolutely no Trickstar cards, with the exception of Trickstar Reincarnation. Without anything else is pretty harmless, along with every hand trap in the universe, as well as, what is this? Galaxy Soldier. Oh my god, this man in 2019. We've opened a copy of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, so I'm excited to get into Hand Trap Wars turn 1. Otherwise, our hand is quite good. We'll go ahead and fire off this Allure of Darkness. We draw into another Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. We'll try to trigger this Black Whirlwind, which we finally get to resolve. Our opponent's going to chain a Max C to the ad. We will chain a copy of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, which unfortunately gets Gamut and basically ends our turn. Our opponent's going to draw into a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, which is a little annoying, but actually doesn't do a whole lot to kill us. They're going to go into a copy of Decode Talker, and I'm thinking, okay, this is actually a card I think we can beat. The Steam the Cloak is going to get us a token at end step, and then hopefully we can get another couple of searches off of this Black Whirlwind. Unfortunately, it is not long for this world, as it immediately gets Ghost Ogred, but now I know my opponent's basically out of stuff. We're going to go into a Needlefiber, get ourselves a Vayu, use Steam to send Vayu to graveyard, go into the Rain Shower, use Steam's effect to get a token, use Vayu in graveyard to go into the Rain Storm, use Rain Shower's effect to destroy the Trickstar Reincarnation, draw a couple of cards off of the Desires, go into Chris the Crack of Dawn, and here is Skulldet. So after Skulldet comes out, we can basically shape our hand into any possible orientation we want, and this is the one that I think is the safest. Our opponent draws into another hand trap, and thankfully that should just win us the game. So that all-important third match, you can see we've drawn a couple of the things that make going second just a little bit more palatable, a copy of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and an evenly matched, but our opponent has opened very well as well. They have a copy of Candina and Licorisica, which is really all you need to go off. They're going to start by normal summoning this copy of Candina, getting themselves a copy of Trickstar Light Stage to hand, opting not to go for the Droll Lock Loop, mostly because it's not particularly very good against us, save for Black Whirlwind hands. We haven't even drawn Black Whirlwind, so that's not even a consideration. We do take 200, 400, 200, 400 in draw step, but other than that, we should be able to dump our hand without any fear of repercussion. We're going to go into Bora, Chris, Needlefiber, use Needlefiber's effect to get Orochi the Squall, go into Hyper Librarian, use Orochi the Squall to switch that sucker to defense position so we can attack over it, and then just kind of safely pass back to our opponent. We're going to, at end step, use the effect of the Waxing Moon to get ourselves a Blizzard the Far North. Our opponent is going to Regeki, will tag out into Wonder Magician, which does allow us to destroy their field spell as well as draw a card. Our opponent's next going to use Trickstar Candina's effect, which we will Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, feeling very good about that one. We'll take 1800, but that is all, and they will pass it back to us. So from here, the game should be all the way over. We're going to start by activating Black Whirlwind. We take 200 for doing so, then we'll special summon Gofu, get ourselves a couple of Egg Shadow tokens, go into Needlefiber number 2, get Steam the Cloak, normal summon Blizzard the Far North, get our Chris the Crack of Dawn, and trigger this copy of Black Whirlwind to get ourselves a Waxing Moon. We then get Droll Unlocked, but it's not a big deal. This is already the end of the game. We go into Skull Death, which doesn't allow us to draw any cards because we aren't a Droll Unlock, but does allow us to beat over our opponent's monsters. Our opponent's at 2200, and they don't have a whole lot left. We have, of course, an evenly matched and a copy of Ash Blossom in our hand. They're going to go for Terraforming, which, of course, we have to Ash Blossom. They'll banish their own Terraforming and concede. So we're back with the deck, and wow, I'm shocked. We actually picked up everything. I've got a lot of thoughts about the deck. Firstly, as far as composition goes, I would definitely try to play a second copy of Vayu. He's just so good as a combo starter. Maybe over, like, an evenly matched? I mean, Black Whirlwind plus evenly matched is already a giant nombo, so it's not like you're missing out on a whole lot. Secondly, I appreciate how this deck can play on the back foot by prioritizing low-risk, low-reward plays while still chipping away at opponents' resources. Finally, there's a lot of decks that Needlefiber enables, but I seriously think that Blackwing is a pretty good contender. So that's that. Thank you for sticking with me through this extended hiatus. I look forward to testing even more degenerate things in the future. If you want to see me play the decks I make on this show on stream, I'm on twitch.tv/monobluetron every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to midnight Eastern Standard Time, links in the description. And if you have a certain idea for deck or archetype you want to see me play on this show, let me know in the comments section and I'll do my best to accommodate you. Otherwise, see you Wednesday.